I'm Dr. Nishitha, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Christu Jayanti College, Autonomous, Bengaluru. Today we are going to learn something on clauses and phrases. Clauses and phrases are considered as the building blocks of sentences. It is very useful to understand what phrases are with certain examples and also what clauses are, how many types of clauses we have in order to improve our writing and also improve grammatical accuracy. So let us see the definition, types, and also examples of clauses and phrases in this lecture today. This. A phrase is a group of words without a subject and a verb. So that functions in a sentence as one part of speech. For example, the phrase here, leaving behind the dog, or smashing into office before the first test. Phrases. So there are total five types of phrases that we can list out here. One is noun phrase, the other adjectival phrase, verb phrase, prepositional phrase, and adverbial phrase. So noun phrase. So noun phrase functions as a noun within a sentence. For example, the red balloon. So it can act as subject or object of a sentence. The verb phrase example is going to the store. So it consists of a main verb and an any auxiliary verb or helping verb. And then adjectival phrase, it modifies noun. It gives more detail about the noun. For example, very bright and colorful. So when there is a noun, if you want to describe it more, then we use adjective. So there might be a phrase of adjective to intensify the meaning of noun. Adverb phrases. The purpose of adverbial phrases are to modify the verbs or adjectives or any other adverbs. So, for example, in the morning, so it can modify verb like arrive. So now the last one is prepositional phrase. So prepositional phrases start with a preposition and include a noun or pronoun, giving more information about time, location, direction, etc. For example, on the table. So tell something about where something is placed. Yes. Phrases can include a preposition, the object of the preposition, and any modifiers of that object. For example, under the umbrella, for ourselves, next to them, among good friends. And it may contain, the prepositional phrase may contain an article or another modifier in the sense something that modifies, something that intensifies the function. Noun or pronoun that completes the prepositional phrase is the object of the preposition. Prepositional phrases always contain an object that is a noun or pronoun. For example, send the present to them. So send is a verb, the present is noun. To them, it's again to whom it is, the object. Remember here that any modifier that comes in between the prepositional phrase and its object is part of the prepositional phrase. For example, Leah has the lead in the school play. The carriage vanished into the thick mist. Come with Rick and me to the concert. Some more description here. An adjective phrase is something that modifies a noun or a pronoun or generally come after the words they modify. They answer the same question, single word adjectives answer. What kind, which one, how many, how much, the store, for example, the store with the neon sign is open. Adjective for adjective phrase. Maya is a soccer player from Florida. Their enthusiasm for soccer brought them together. Their strategies about winning games were proved to work well. A prepositional phrase used as an adverb is called an adverb phrase. Adverb, the team will reach the field soon. This is one of the examples. Adverb phrase, the team will reach the field by noon. An adverb phrase modifies a verb, an adjective, or an adverb and answers the same questions when, where, how, to what extent. What clause is? A clause is a group of words with its own subject and verb. For example, because she smiled at him. When the saint go marching in, since she laughs at diffident men. So now here, so this can be a part of a sentence, but it has the subject and verb within that. So there would be some other phrase or part of the sentence or half sentence before because she smiled at him. So then to explain or justify the first half of the sentence, you have the second. So this is clause. That we are going to learn today are independent clause and dependent clause. Dependent clause can also be called subordinate clause. An independent or main clause expresses a complete thought and can stand by itself as a sentence. So there would be an independent existence for this clause. It don't have to depend on any other part of the sentence. So it can exist or it can be meaningful without adding or attaching it to any other part of a sentence. For example, I woke up late this morning. So this is meaningful, the entire unit. So it is independent clause. Did you know Joseph? Do you know Joseph? So again, another example. So when an independent clause stands alone, it is called a sentence. The term independent clause is usually only used when a clause is joined with another clause. For example, my mother drove me to school. My mother drove me to school, but my brother rode his bicycle. Or the dependent clause, as the name itself suggests, it does not express a complete thought and it cannot stand by itself as a complete sentence. Subordinate clauses are joined with independent clauses to express a complete thought. For example, they may appear at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the sentence. Subordinate clause, for example, if they do not win. So now, if they do not win, what happens? So there is no continuity. There is no complete thought or meaning that is expressed there. So it's only a part. So that's why this is subordinate clause. If they do not win, they will have to practice harder next year. So this gives a complete thought of the sentence. So now it is meaningful. They will have to practice harder next year if they don't win. With this, we have come to an end of the lecture. So today we learnt about clauses and phrases. The clauses, there are two types, independent and dependent. And the phrases, there were five different types which we listed, and also we learnt it thoroughly with some examples. Thank you all.